How are you? How are you doing today? So, I'm just waiting for me to get a go ahead. And then I'm on, yeah, cool. So, it's good to be live once again and talking to all of you. How has your week been? I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. Today, I'm going to be talking about worrying, okay? And a lot of us are going through this intense worrying. We are worried about our jobs, we're worried about our health, we're worried about our situations, we're worried about, are we looking good? We are worried about we're getting old. Are we going to be able to sustain ourselves? What's in the future for us? So there are a whole lot of worries that are engulfing a lot of us just now. And I thought this might just be a good idea to have a conversation about what is worrying. Yeah. So is it, and oftentimes I find that a lot of people tend to tell you that, hey, don't worry. Okay, Sarah, what's going to be is going to be. So why do you want to worry, right? And and or they will call you all sorts of things. Oh, you've got an OCD. Oh, you're a constant worrier. So there are a whole lot of name tags that are attached to us. Now, my question to those who worry is: are you worrying, or is it that you're aware of something and you just don't know how to address that? Right? So so if you are worried that you're getting late for an appointment, you have an awareness that you're getting late for an appointment, and you have an awareness of what the pitfalls of reaching someplace late could be, right? Now, should you then just say, oh, I'm not going to worry. If they're going to get angry with me, they're going to get angry with me. Now, there is a problem there in that. I think I'll be disrespectful if I don't honor somebody else's time. And secondly, I'm just putting in so much energy into a thought process that gets me all in a tiz. And so when I reach the meeting, I go and I'm like, oh my God, rather than taking charge, right? And what gets reflected back to me is people just throwing the judgments I have of myself at that moment, right? So, which means that if I'm judging that I am late and it is a problem, then people will throw back at me, hey, you're late and it's a problem. But if I have this thing that, hey, I got late and I'm really sorry about it, but there was something that was like completely out of my control, or if I'm aware that I'm going to get late, rather than get worried, I could ask, hey, I'm getting worried. I'm getting late. What can I do here? Because I'm aware that where I have to reach, and if I'm getting late, then it might cause a bit of an upset. So rather than thinking about that upset and creating a whole story around it and a catastrophic situation around it, can I just stop in my tracks and say, okay, I'm getting late, it could cause a problem. What can I do in this situation? Okay, and the awareness would be, can I just hasten up and be on time? Or can I just call and let them know that I'm really getting late and it's completely out of my control because A, B, C, D, and give them reasons for what which are keeping you in the delayed mode. Okay, and then you can just put out a desire to the universe, the energy of, hey, what would it take for it to be even greater than what I had imagined, right? So rather than going into a contraction, you're actually going into an expansive mode. And what happens is that universe is totally delighted to participate in your expansiveness and give you an experience which actually adds to your life rather than contracts it. Yeah. So, oftentimes I found that if I've got late for a meeting, okay, uh, there is something beyond that. And oftentimes, when I call up and I tell people that, hey, I'm getting late, I'm really sorry about it, what happens is that they will reflect back to me that don't worry, we ourselves are getting late and we were about to call you up, or they will tell you, don't worry, take your time, we understand. Okay, so there are two things. You're acknowledging that A, there is something that's happened which has kept you delayed and which is, in your estimation, not honoring of the people that you're going to be working with. So, what is it that you can do to make up for them? So, you are actually saying, I'm just so sorry that something like this has happened, and and what can I do to make it up for you, right? So, how does it get translated? Hey, I'm really sorry I'm getting late, and just please bear with me. I'll be there by this time, and if it's getting further delayed, I'll let you know, but please, I'm really sorry about it. And the moment you say sorry to someone and you acknowledge that there has been a problem, and you don't defend yourself, the other person has nothing to hold on to to push back at you and hurl some sort of a disempowering energy at you, right? So they will also go with, oh, it's okay, don't worry, we completely understand, and it's okay that you're getting late, it happens. So just take your time, relax, and come. Now that puts you immediately in a mood where you have the charge and not somebody else has the charge of your life, right? So so looking at every worrisome situation, or a situation where you think you're getting worried and you're getting caught in a tiz, might just be a good idea to stop, breathe, and say, hey, am I worried, or is there something I'm aware of? And what can I do to stop this right away? Okay. So, for instance, if you're in a relationship and you are worried that it's not going the way it should be going, and perhaps you are, you're not receiving from your partner exactly what you would choose to receive or what you feel you should. Now, instead of going into a worry circle, because recognize that any kind of a worry is actually a circle which is never ending, because and the thing is, it's just not never ending, it just starts building one on top of the other. So what happens is you're worrying about something and then something else crops up. So before you've completed the circle, this worry has got tagged on to this first worry, and then the third worry, and the fourth worry, and so on and so forth. So you actually have a whole stack of worry that you are totally under, you fall under that, right? How do you break it? The only way you can break is if you break the cycle of the first one. Then there is nothing that can hold on, so don't even let it go. That the moment you recognize that you're worried, okay, taking the example of the partner, if you're worried that your partner is having an affair with someone else, or if your partner is not really being kind and considerate to you, and rather than going into a worry, oh, he's going to leave me, oh, he's going to do this, what happens is when you start reacting to your partner with that energy, which is like, you're a jerk, you don't respect me, what gets thrown back at you is a litany of that kind of a judgment, right? So there will arise more situations because your partner is picking up on that energy. Okay, and the partner has to then defend his position, and oftentimes what happens is in defending there is an attack mode as well, right? So ultimately what happens is a relationship which could have had a different outcome just falls through. Okay, and then you are told, oh, because you focus so much on worrying and you focus so much on the partnership breaking or the relationship breaking, see, you've attracted that, right? So is it that you've attracted that, or is it that you've created that? you know so notice the subtle difference when you attract something. Okay, who the it's still not as potent as when you create something, isn't it? So creation is more proactive rather than, attraction is slightly more passive. Okay, so when you start worrying, Your reactions are such that you will react with the burden of that worry, with the burden of that contracting thought, with the burden of that contracting energy. Okay, the person who you are reacting with or you're interacting with will respond back with similar kind of an energy. And what happens is that they respond, you pick it up, you respond, they pick it up, they respond, and it just starts building up. So if at that moment you can just stop and say, what is it that I'm aware of here, which I have decided is a worry? Okay, and just identify. So there could be that you're aware that the partner is going through some problem in their workplace. Okay, he or she may not be completely in a position to actually be present with you. Okay, so how do you arrive at that realization? By just asking them that, hey, what's really going on, you know? So once you realize that it is not about the person moving away from you, but it's just that the person is going through their own shit, okay, their own turmoils, then what energy can you be to assist them through this part of their life? And the choice is yours. So you can either choose to be that energy, or you can choose not to be that energy and say, okay, fine, it's their shit, they will sort it out, I don't have to get involved, let them be, I'll be, and then when the time is right we'll reconvene. Or you could also realize that maybe they're not open to talking right now, maybe they need to sort it out themselves, so you will give that space to them with respect due to them, honoring of them, and step back and hold your honoring of them, your gratitude of them in your space. So there is not a judgment that you're going to be passing on them, but you're just going to be a lot more accommodative of them. And you're going to honor the fact that they are going through a turmoil. Okay. There could also be a space where you're worried and you recognize that, okay, this guy or this woman is just not going to be honoring of me. Then you have a choice to move away from that relationship, right? Rather than sit and worry, oh, does he not? Does she not? You know, so you're not going in that space of a worrisome or a contracting questioning, but you're getting into a space of proactive questioning and you say, okay, what is required of me here? What do I desire of this relationship? Is this relationship giving me what I desire? Okay. And then you can be proactive about that situation, right? You can either choose to move out or have a frank conversation and, take a call, whichever way, right? Also, another thing which I find is oftentimes when you worry about jobs, okay, that's another worry, that where am I going to get my next job from? Where am I going to get my money from? It might just be a good idea to look at that energy of worry around job and say, hey, what's really going on here? Okay, what can I do out here to make sure that I am actually creating a job that is honoring of me? Okay, so what is it that I can do here and create a job that is honoring of me, rather than going worrying about a job that is not honoring of me? And what are the other avenues of revenue that I can generate that's going to make sure that I have a sustained supply of money flow into my life? Okay, so what you've done is you've actually taken yourself out of worry and you've gotten into a expansive creation mode. Okay, and the reason I choose to call it expansive creation mode is because worrying is also creation. Worrying is also creative because you're constantly thinking of creative ideas to worry around, creative situations to worry around. So you're being creative either way, whether you're worrying or you're proactively creating a situation. So which one would you rather choose? Would you rather choose to be worrying in a contracting manner, creating in a contracting manner, which is worrying, or would you choose to be, uh, thinking or creating in an expansive manner, right? So please acknowledge that there is nothing wrong around worrying. Okay, it is just an opportunity for you to explore probably greater dimensions of yourself and greater opportunities that you could be creating and exploring, right? So with money you could say, hey, what are the various opportunities for money that so those are worries, okay? Those are worries, and those are situations where you probably are aware of certain limitations or certain situations that could crop up, and then you can address them right away. That is what a business plan is all about, isn't it? A business plan is all about you looking at different scenarios, okay, that could crop up, and what are you then aware of to address those scenarios so that you go with an easy flow, right? So but if you start worrying, then what you're doing is you're actually creating a situation with your mind where your mind is going to look at more reasons for you to be worried because it's picked up that, hey, my master likes to worry. So it's going to get creative and throw up situations for you that are going to show you different ways and means of worrying. Okay, so my question is, would you rather worry or would you rather be aware of what lies under the worrying energy and then create situations that are truly, truly generative and expansive? Okay, so would you rather worry or would you create your life in a manner that you desire and acknowledge that worry is nothing but just an awareness of what could possibly uh, go wrong, you know, or what really is going on? Yeah, so it is an awareness. So the moment you acknowledge worrying as an awareness and you actually use it as a tool to create a greater life, you are becoming proactive and not getting caught in the web of worry. So step number one, there's nothing wrong to worry. Acknowledge what you're worried about. Look at it and ask, is it an awareness I have about something? What can I do here? What is it actually showing me? How can I work around this situation? Who do I need to talk to? Who can I go to? What are my options? And how do I create a life which addresses all these issues that the worrying is throwing up? Yeah. So, so worry is nothing to be worried about. Worry is something that you could actually celebrate as your capacity to be aware and uh, to be aware of what is truly going on for you. You know, so so why worry, isn't it? And even with Corona right now, if I'm aware, if I'm worried about will I get the infection, I'm aware that there is a possibility that I could get an infection. So what are the measures that I take? Okay, I need to create my bubble, right? I need to be masking up. I need to be vaccinated. I need to make sure that I don't break my bubble very often, isn't it? So I start looking at the steps I can take to ensure that I keep myself safe and protected, right? If I'm worried about putting on weight, then I know what is it that I need to do to ensure that I don't go that route. So eat healthy or eat appropriate based on what the body desires, exercise, and keep your thinking straight. Meditate, de stress, because all of this actually helps a lot in you know, in 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 keeping your energies calm and sorted, so that you don't we don't go into a situation where we're either eating because of emotions, or there is stress around food. So make sure that question yourself, okay, if I'm worried about diabetes, right? So is it that I'm worried about diabetes, or is it that I'm aware that there could be a chance that I could have diabetes? So what do I need to do? Yeah. And once I've done A, B, C, D, that's required for me to make sure that I don't get diabetes, then all I have to do is have fun, isn't it? A lot many times people say, oh my God, I've got a white hair. Oh my God, I've got a wrinkle. So what can you do around that? Okay. Uh, can you just enjoy a natural process of your body and not judge it? Okay. So why is wrinkle bad? Is it because, and why is it wrong to be aging? You know, uh, and what is the science behind aging? Isn't it? So if we don't stress our body, don't stress our minds, chances are we're not going to get aged, isn't it? So the stresses can come from the environment, the stresses can come from the food we eat, the stresses that can come from our thought process, stresses that can come from our day-to-day living. So how can I make my life more stress-free? Okay. And that in itself is a proactive way of you to look at your worry and say, it's just my awareness. It is not worry. It is trying to tell me something that could possibly be, and then I have to take the corrective measures. So, if I'm going to be passing through a jungle, do I have to be worried about getting bit by a snake, or, accosted by a lion? Or do I have to be aware that there is a possibility that this could happen, and then make sure that I'm taking appropriate steps? So, with that thought, I am going to leave you tonight. And here is an invitation that for the next 1 week, look at every worry that you have labeled as worry and ask yourself, what's the awareness beneath this worry that I'm not willing to acknowledge? And what is it that I need to be doing to ensure that these situations are addressed? You know, so just a simple thing, just be in the question. Um, don't label it as something and then go into a dizzy around it, but just ask yourself, is it really worry? Or is it my capacity to be aware of something that could happen and derail my project, derail my relationship, derail my life? And if it's an awareness, then should you not celebrate that capacity, or should you be constantly judging yourself as, oh, I'm a warrior. Oh, people call me, I have an OCD, or they call me negative. So is it that you're a negative person, or is it that you have OCD, or is it that you are an aware person? And the next thing is, your awareness is your awareness. People are not willing to receive it. And this I can tell you from my own experiences of past so many years when I've tried to take an awareness to a person and I've just got slapped down. So now what I do is, if I'm aware of something, I just keep it to myself. And because I'm aware and I keep it to myself, I'm ready for the time when they require me to step in. And I will just step in without judging them or without making them wrong. So ask yourself, is it an awareness that I have? Is it a capacity? Or is it something that I've decided is something which is completely wrong? And oftentimes you'll realize it's a capacity, it's a capability, it's a talent and an ability you have to spot exactly what could go wrong. And once you have that talent, all you have to do is ask yourself questions. Hey, what are the steps I need to take to make sure this doesn't happen? And then once you've taken those steps, just be aware of what other recalibration is required. So, what's happening is you are looking at possibilities, but you're not looking at worries that drag you down. So, you are actually breaking that circle of, the worry and worry on top of another worry on top of another worry on top of another worry. Yeah. So, with that, my dear friends, I'm calling it a night here. Thank you so much for being with me on today's live. I hope you've enjoyed it. Do leave me comments, and if you have any questions, feel free to PM me. Till we meet next time. Bye bye.